Oh, you gotta help me. She was, she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I said, okay, um, I can try and help. It's not my usual kind of case, but tell me more. Well, it was at the Hunfest over in Hamden. I said, okay, yeah, that's usually a good time. I was there too. There was this. Well, I saw her there, and she was okay. So the thing that's maybe the biggest lead is that her hair. She had this. It was the color of it was insane. It was like purple, but also had these like fiery red streaks, and it was kind of glittery. I said, okay, okay, that is unusual, but that's not all. It was done up in this crazy hairdo. I didn't even know how they did it, but it looked like a hot air balloon. It was amazing. I don't know how they got it to hold that shape. I don't know how they got it to sit on her head like that. I mean, her hair must be super long when it's not up in a crazy do like that. Uh, it was definitely an eye-catching thing. I said, "Oh yeah, I think I might have seen that lady. Yeah, that was an impressive hairstyle." Well, yeah, it was, but that's only the half of it for me, man. I am smitten. I have got to reconnect with her. I said, okay, what makes you think she wants to reconnect with you? I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to be part of a stalking here. I said, yo, no, fair question, absolutely. Here's the thing. So, at the festival, I came up and just to express appreciation of her hair, and we got to talking, and we had a nice conversation. We went and got these like caramel pretzels together, and they were really good. And she totally gave me her number and said I should call her. Her actual name is Janet. I didn't get her last name. That was my mistake. I mean, I had the number, so I didn't think it mattered. And then I got just drenched on the way home. I said, okay. So I have the number kind of here, look. And he pulled out a piece of paper, and it was a J that all I could make out and a T and some numbers, but all the ink was all smudged. It looked like it had been wet. Said I walked home and I walked through the park, and I'd had a drink or two. I fell in the creek, fried my phone, and washed all the details off of the number. I mean, the phone is fine, it's whatever. It's just like, I had insurance on it, and I got a new phone. But the number, man, that's irreplaceable, and I've not been able to track her down. I got to reconnect with her, man. I got to ask her out on a date. I said, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could probably help you with this. Let me think here. So I definitely saw the lady with the hot air balloon haircut. So I bet other people saw her too. Yeah, and that's not all. Here's the thing. Might make it even a little easier to track her down. But I mean, I've been unsuccessful so far. But she had a little kid with her, a little baby. The baby was like 9 months old or so, and it was dressed in these cute little overalls and a yellow T-shirt. I said, okay, once again, are you sure that this lady wants you to track her down? I mean, she's got a baby. She might have, a partner. No, I mean, we talked about that. She doesn't. She and the dad of the baby, like, they had a falling out. And he left, like, he skipped town, like, he moved to Canada. He's not in the picture. And, like, she seems really great. And the kid seems great, and I don't mind, like, helping with the kid or whatever. I don't know, man. I've never met a girl like her. I gotta find her again. You gotta help me. I said, all right. I'll take the case. You saw my rates. I saw your rates. Happy to pay it. If you can get me back connected with Janet, then, man, ain't no price I wouldn't pay. I said, all right. So I started to think. And the client went on their way. He thought, I said, all right, so seems like the way I could track her down would be that haircut. And that's pretty wild. So I did some searching around, and there were other people that took photos of a lady with a hot air balloon hairstyle. But there wasn't a lot of identifying information. They weren't like tagging her on Facebook or anything like that, or tweeting at her. He looked around, and there's just a lot of Janets in the general Baltimore area. And the photos, I mean, you could get a good sense of what she looked like, but she seemed like a lovely young woman, but there weren't, other than the hair, there weren't a whole lot of features to really go on. I mean, she was a white lady with, judging from her eyebrow color, brown hair, but it's hard to tell. She looked like she was maybe 5'9"-ish. You couldn't really tell the eye color from the photos. They weren't close enough up. She's kind of an average weight. She was wearing, other than that, like a pretty cocktail, polka dot cocktail dress. Like a cool dress, but nothing that you could track down. So I started to think, all right, Ollie said, I think my lead has got to be the hair. Got to be the hair. So I started looking around and asking around and talking to people. And a couple of different people said, for a hair coloring like that, you would have to go to Fringe over in Remington. They're the best in the whole area for like really bold hair color. And so Ollie went and he talked to them. He said, hey, so I'm trying to find this lady. She's got this purple hair with red flame fringes, or red flame streaks, I guess. I was wondering if you could tell me anything. Somebody she met at the festival wants to reconnect. I said, well, there's not a lot we can tell you because it's confidential client information, but what I can tell you actually is that I wouldn't even bet I help you without that, because I remember that lady. She came, she was lovely, but she paid in cash, so we didn't really put her in the system. We didn't have a credit card or anything for her. Yeah, it was a really cool hair color she did, and I've seen these photos of the hot air balloon thing, which is nuts. I've never seen anything like that. I said, well, so you didn't do the hot air balloon thing? I said, no, we can do some fancy hairstyles, but that's beyond even us. The color was us, but the hot air balloon shaping thing, that was somebody else. I said, well, do you have any ideas about who? I said, well, just give it back to her, it's fine. Well, you could ask, there's a place called Michaela's, and they do some fancy hairstyles, and then, it almost seemed like something that Ace of Cakes would do if it was a cake. You should ask them. It's not actually called Ace of Cakes, it's Charm City Cakes, that's the real name. I said, okay, one more thing. Before you dyed her hair, what color was her hair? Oh, yeah, it was like a light brunette, like light brown hair. I said, okay. So, of those two places, they're both kind of nearby, but Charm City Cakes was right around the corner, so I headed over there next. I said, hey, I was wondering, I'm trying to track down this lady that had this hot air balloon hair. The person said, oh, hey, Duff, question for you about the hair lady. This guy came out of the back, a big, burly, friendly guy. He said, yeah, how can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm looking for the lady that did the hot air balloon hair, and I got a tip that if anybody knew how to do that, it might be you. And the guy started laughing, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I helped. I mean, she had a lot of knowledge all by herself. Yeah, she had a lot of good tricks that I didn't know. I mean, I'm like a cake guy, not a hair guy. But I was able to help her out. Yeah, some of like the structural elements, like how to make stuff really stand up and how to make stuff be stiff with kind of a floppy medium. I didn't actually think when I started that hair would have a lot to do with cake, but honestly, it worked pretty well. Yeah. I said, great. I'm hoping you can help me find that person. I'm hoping you can help me find that lady. I said, oh yeah, no, sure. Her name's Janet. She was great. She's been in here a couple of times. Did you get like cupcakes and stuff like that? And we did like a class, and so I think when she took the class, that's maybe when she got the idea. I don't know, but yeah, her name's Janet Mikulski. I said, and she has brunette hair normally. I said, yeah. She's cool. She's a nice lady. I think I have her phone number here. Hold on a second. And he looked in his phone, and he got the phone number. I said, good luck. I said, thanks. So he went over to the park there to make a quiet phone call, to call this person, Janet. Called, and it rang, and a woman picked up, and she said, hello? I said, hi, is this Janet Mikulski? This is she. Who's calling, please? I said, hi, my name is Ollie the Octopus. I'm a private eye, but don't let that worry you. Oh my, why is a private eye calling me? I said, well, your hair made quite the impression. I said, oh, I'm glad. That was crazy. I almost couldn't believe that it worked. I'm glad. I mean, I did it to make a splash, so I'm glad that it did. But someone hired you just to tell me that? I said, not quite. You see, I imagine you probably got a lot of people's attention, but there was one guy, and he says that you two talked and really hit it off and had some caramel pretzels together, and that you gave him your number, wanting him to call you. And he'd like to call you because he thinks that you're pretty great. But I don't want to give you, like, if this was not something you wanted, to be in contact with this guy, I don't want to. Oh, no, it's fine. Richard. Yeah. No, I was wondering why he hadn't called. He's such a sweet guy. He was so playful with my daughter, and yes, I did give him my number, and I do want him to call. I didn't get his number because, well, frankly, it's kind of the guy's job to call, I feel like. But if he lost my number, I don't know. It's not that important to him. So, well, in his defense, Ollie said, he still has the piece of paper with your number on it, but he fell into the creek on the way home. And Ollie just heard laughter on the other end of the phone. He fell into the... Oh, man. Like the creek, like Stony Run there. I said, yep. He was walking home, slipped, fell into the creek. The paper's all washed out. He fried his phone, the whole 9 yards. Well, I can't hardly fault him for that. Yes. Please give him my number again and ask him to call. And I would happily see him again. And that was Ollie, and the case of the balloon-haired woman.